Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Tuesday morning to you all. Hope you guys are feeling well out there. Hopefully you are. The cold front is working its way through most of the eastern U.S. right now. So if you're not waking up to a cool, crisp, fall-like air mass this morning where you're located, chances are you might wake up to it tomorrow morning. But I think most of us are waking up to it this morning. In fact, where I'm at, the cold front moved through a couple hours ago, waking up to some upper 60s, but you can feel the humidity dropping as I was up and outside a little bit earlier this morning. So it's feeling great out there. But we'll give you an update on where this cold front is, what it means to the weather today. It could promote some severe weather across areas in the Northeast today. And the humidity will be dropping for a lot of people today. So we'll give you an update on that. But this is also going to be a big update on the tropics. We kind of noticed it yesterday and last night. I kind of mentioned it in my video. But confidence has increased and became much more aggressive overnight, and it could become less aggressive as we work through today. But I can tell you, we need to watch this wave in the central Atlantic right now and see if this is going to be the next thing that we really need to talk about. Could be Fiona. Chances are increasing per the National Hurricane Center. And stick with me. If you want to just know about the tropics, skip ahead to the second half of the video. And we're going to talk a lot about that. But of course, we're just going to talk about what's going to happen weather-wise for most of the country first. And then we'll give you an update on all model guidance on the tropics towards the end of the video. So stay with me this morning. If you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the prayers here personally. And praying for you guys also. And if you guys got anything that I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it. And it gives others an opportunity to do so too. Hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, especially Twitter. When it gets active, I get much more active. And it's a great way to follow along with constant updates almost hourly. So definitely hit the link. If you can't find it on your phones or your laptops, your computers, the links are in below the videos in the description. I need to mention that more because a lot of people can't actually see those links on my YouTube page. But anyways, let's get rolling here. Let's take a look at everything as a whole. U.S., as you can tell, not a whole lot going on. There's some rain moving through areas of southern New England right now, some storms where the cold front has not passed. But where it has, there's not a cloud in the sky. A lot of you guys are going to wake up in the Mid-South, the Deep South, portions of the Ohio Valley, and the middle of the country, there's not a cloud in the sky, maybe just some high clouds. And this cold front has just came through, and it's a beautiful fall-like air mass for a lot of the country. So that's pretty good to see. Now we're watching this wave right in the central Atlantic. This is going to be a topic towards the second half of the video. So stick with me. This is the wave we're watching that's going to have a chance. To develop. Chances are actually increasing per the National Hurricane Center of this developing into a depression or potentially a named storm. So we'll watch the progression of this and we'll talk about model guidance with this as it tries to make its way north of the Leeward Islands. Puerto Rico needs to watch out for this, but we'll talk about this and we'll talk about it again tonight. We'll give you the latest and greatest information. We'll briefly mention the update per 2 a.m. I want to remind you guys I make these videos between the 5 a.m. update and the 8 a.m. update. So there'll be another update here in probably an hour. This might get upgraded to an orange, which would be a 40% chance or higher. But right now it's just a 30% chance. If model guidance continues to increase on this, I would not be surprised if this gets bumped up to a 40% chance sometime within the next few updates. So we'll watch this. Not so much watching this one, but we will watch it, but not as much as this. This is the one that the models really like and have a chance to develop. Storm Prediction Center today, we're going to watch the Northeast. There is a slight risk for areas of New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, and western areas of Massachusetts. So we'll watch that. There was a tornado threat today, a 2% risk. This includes big cities like Boston. So there is going to be some dynamics there for maybe an isolated tornado or two. But it's a very low chance. Then there's a damaging wind threat with this, a 15% risk of damaging winds occurring. The winds pushing 50 knots or higher, that's around 55 to 60 miles per hour or higher in this area with some of these storms. There'll be a little bit of a hail threat, but not a big threat. Excessive rainfall outlook, really just a lot of moisture ongoing in the western U.S. where you just don't like to see a whole lot of rain all at once. We'll watch out areas of southeast Nevada, far southwest Utah, and then the far northwest corner of Arizona. And well, maybe a little bit of a flooding threat with any rains that do fall today. But you notice this whole entire area of the country, no risk of flooding today just due to this cold front passage. So let's break it down to each region. We should be able to work through this quick because outside the Northeast, not a whole lot going on. But we'll move through the morning hours. Watch out for some showers if you live along the Outer Banks, as this front hasn't completely passed. And then where the front just isn't going to make it all the way through, you're going to have plenty of tropical moisture, I would say, from Gainesville Point south. Anybody, you pick and choose a location, you probably have an equal chance to see showers and storms, especially the further south you go in the peninsula of Florida. So a stormy day, certainly possible, but areas points north into Georgia, South Carolina, the Carolinas, you're not going to see any showers and storms. You got a stable air mass and it's dry, and you're just not going to see much in the way of anything. I would be surprised if you see any kind of pop-up shower storm activity in this region. Now, the Northeast is something we need to watch today. I already got showers and things working its way through. Sorry guys, I had to stop the video temporarily because my dog just decided it wanted to just keep barking out there. My dog does not bark a lot, but when it does, he'll do it until you basically acknowledge him. So let's get rolling. So like I said, showers and storms already working their way through areas of the Northeast this morning, but the atmosphere will destabilize again. Here you go. You got a piece of energy swinging through New York State. You got ample amounts of showers and storms developing. And basically the entire western half of New York State, these will continue to work their way through. They will be affecting areas of Connecticut, western Mass. But basically this is the area you watch, which is some mountainous areas in the interior Northeast and interior New England. But there will be numerous showers and storms associated with this piece of energy riding this mid-upper trough that's rolling through, and there'll be a little bit of a spin to the atmosphere. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get a tornado warning or two in this area of southern New Hampshire and Vermont and Mass today, so in western Massachusetts. So be careful, be mindful of some showers and some storms. And definitely going to be some strong to severe storms in areas of the interior Northeast today. So definitely watch out. This will move into areas of Maine a little bit later this evening, but of course, with the loss of daytime heating and things like that and the sun going down, the severe threat will probably lessen as it gets into Maine. South central U.S., pretty quiet. The only area you're going to watch where the cold front is only draped across this area, maybe some pop-up showers, storms possible in south central areas of Texas, but not a big deal today at all. North central U.S., northern plains, Midwest, yada, yada, yada. The Great Lakes region, some showers will work their way into maybe northern Michigan, will continue throughout the morning hours, but it will probably diminish into the afternoon hours, and then an overall quiet day as far as precipitation, things like that. Temperatures today, like I said, this isn't this cold front that's going to knock temperatures down to 60s and 70s for highs for everybody. Now, if you're in the Ohio Valley, it will. Only 70s for highs and a nice, crisp fall day. In fact, some folks are going to need a jacket this morning and then again tomorrow morning. But of course, it's warming up in the Carolinas today. But the humidity will be dropping. There's a chance you'll feel a substantial difference humidity-wise, especially in the eastern Carolinas and Georgia and Virginia, going to work than you do leaving work today. If you work a daytime 8 to 5 job or something like that. But you're waking up to probably a humid air mass along the I-95 corridor, but humidity will be dropping throughout the day. But, high temperatures warming up again, heat's building again into the Midwest, unfortunately, Nebraska, Oklahoma, well up into the 90s, 80s, and 90s, but a nice air mass all the way down to deep south with only maybe some upper 70s, low 80s for highs, but a true fall air mass along the Great Lakes region and Ohio Valley into the interior areas and Northeast. And you can tell, the humidity, these are dew points. The humidity drops throughout the day. We'll get this in motion here. And we're getting all the way to about midday, early afternoon. Dew points dropping throughout the entire Southeast. Basically has the entire Southeast cut in half. But you notice it's kind of bowing out and moving down here. So humidity actually spikes into southern New England. It'll be a very humid day in southern New England, which will create that air mass that will create an environment for severe storms. But you'll notice throughout the late evening hours, the humidity will drop as the cold front moves through. And then this will set the stage for a chilly morning, even for areas pretty far south. So we'll watch this. It's a nice air mass, but, I feel like that we're getting about as much as we can from this trough that's moving through. But this still isn't that true fall front that I'm looking for. But this counts to me. This counts as the first one officially for me personally. So here it is. This is this tropical wave starting to work its way now, I would say, almost into the, I guess, geographical region, what we call the Eastern Main Development Region. But this is the Leeward Islands. This is Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic right here, tongue twister. And this is a pretty nice, healthy tropical wave. And this is just the definition of a tropical wave. It's strung out. It's everywhere. You just got blobs of convection in different areas. And it's going to struggle over the next few days. But let's just break out the model guidance. Let's start all model guidance for this coming Thursday morning, so 48 hours out. So this is the Southwest Atlantic, Leeward Islands, Puerto Rico, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Bahamas right here, and then, of course, we got the Southeast right here. So here it is, European. We'll get this rolling. Has it staying relatively weak, and this is just the latest model guidance. This will change, guys. Getting into Friday morning, expect probably a tropical wave moving into the northern Leeward Islands late Friday afternoon. And then, it's probably going to start affecting potentially Puerto Rico as we get into Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, bringing just a lot of tropical rains. The latest Euro has this kind of riding the northern shoreline of the Dominican Republic. And it's starting to creep to that sub 1,000 millibar low pressure as we're getting into about 6 days out at this point. Slow moving system. But I can tell you it's sped up a little bit timeline-wise since we made the video last night. But check it out. Get sub 1,000 millibar low pressure. Probably becomes a named storm by around this time next week. And then you have a tropical storm somewhere in the Bahamas about midway next week. And then it's starting to strengthen potentially into a hurricane 10 days out. But it's starting to move out the sea. It looks like it's starting to turn north, but there looks like there's a ridge building up here. But guys, I'm not going to focus too much on steering currents right now until models over the next 24 to 36 hours really close in on the idea of having development. I did the same thing with Earl, and I'm going to do the same thing with potentially Fiona right here. But I can tell you, model guidance are starting to like the idea of this developing. Now the GFS, here it is. You barely can see it. Here comes the tropical wave. This is it right here. It's weaker, so it moves more east to west. A stronger storm would try to gain more latitude. It would try to turn more north. But this tropical wave just moves all over the basically the greater Antilles, the bigger islands like Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and it never really does anything. One thing we need to watch, even if this stays a weaker scenario, if it survives the land masses, if you get any piece of energy into the Gulf of Mexico, you certainly need to watch out. But it never really develops anything. The GFS doesn't. But I can tell you the GFS is verifying weak with the tropical wave. It's consistently verifying. It's basically saying in the now term that it's initiating weaker than it actually is out there right now. So that should throw a flag to you a little bit. The Canadian model. What does the Canadian model do? Well, it takes the route of the European weak tropical wave, keeps it moving here, still weak tropical wave, and we're getting about a week out now, still weak tropical wave, but it continues to remain weak, so it stays more west rather than strengthening like the Euro right around here and starting to turn. Now this continues to move west-northwest, gets into the Gulf of Mexico, which you don't want, crosses the, and this is just one run of the Canadian model, guys. I'm just showing model guys. I'm trying to show you that, hey, there is some consistency in models that they're liking the idea of this tropical wave. That's what I do here, so that's how we're breaking it down. But, the Canadian gets us into the Gulf of Mexico, and we don't want anything getting into the Gulf of Mexico. So 10 days out has a borderline Category 1 hurricane in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. And there's rocket fuel in the Gulf of Mexico. We don't want anything getting in the Gulf of Mexico, I'm telling you. Icon has been pretty aggressive with this. This is the latest morning icon. Has this taking more of a east to west route, gets it, crashes it right through the northern Leeward Islands as a weak tropical wave, and then begins to turn as it strengthens, and then wants to get very close to Puerto Rico as a tropical storm and sub 1,000 millibar low pressure around overnight this coming Saturday and Sunday. So I just showed you 4 different model runs. The European and the GFS are the main global runs that we really look for. We really look at and pay the most attention to, especially the Euro. But all model guidance shows something. The GFS is the only one that's actually kind of dropped especially with its ensembles. But it's hard to take that serious because how a strong of a tropical wave we have right out there right now. So this is one thing I want to look at. This is the European ensembles, the latest that just came out a few hours ago, back from overnight. This is for a week out, literally 1 week out. It initiates it right here, and this is predicting potentially where it could be about a week out from the day. Now, the European ensembles, EPS ensembles, make up 50 different runs. I counted around 40 different L's in this area. So 40 out of 50, show some kind of system. So that's, I mean, what is that? 80%? 80% of the members are showing something. So if you notice, the weaker members go more west, which potentially is not necessarily a good thing, because if whatever the weaker members, if they survive, they can get into the Gulf of Mexico. Stronger members want to turn very quickly. For example, the strongest member I see is this 957 millibar low pressure about a week out, which would symbolize probably a borderline major hurricane. And it wants to head this on out to sea because it wants to turn quicker. The weaker it gets, now there is a couple stragglers that, even though they're strong, they continue more of that west-northwest route. But we go 240 hours out, which is 10 days out, not a very reliable time frame. And just look how they get everywhere. I mean, you got some that go east of Bermuda, and you got some that get into the Western Caribbean. So we got a lot to figure out with this one, guys. But this will probably be a big topic tonight in tonight's video. I would say it's in a way kind of breaking news, but there's a chance that throughout the day today, model guidance could drop on it. So I wouldn't call it a trend yet, but if we get another, I would say 24 hours of this, then I would call it a trend, that we're trending to maybe potentially a system here. So that's all I got. God bless everybody. Have a great Monday, and I'll talk to y'all this evening.